This generation of basketball player is obsessed with aura. I'm not even really sure what it means. I think it means the juice is what I would call it, right? I think every generation has their definition of that word. But if you notice, a lot of these young players, their GOAT, it's Kevin Durant, right? And I think when you look at his numbers against LeBron's, against Steph, against Giannis, against his peers of this last generation, the numbers, they all can score 30 on any given night. They can all take over, right? But I think what sets KD apart is he does it in a way where he exerts himself the least. It's the least strenuous. He can do it the most easily, hence easy money sniper, right? And I think that might equate to some of this aura that the kids are talking about and why he is a lot of their GOATs. Well, yesterday in Paris, he checked in at the 2:33 mark of the first quarter in a game where, I'm not going to lie to you, I thought we might be in some trouble. They came out too lackadaisical, and it just didn't look good. But again, the easy money sniper checks in and really changes everything. And he does it so efficiently and so easy. And it doesn't really matter how much talent you've assembled into one team. Ultimately, you still need a pecking order and you need a go-to guy. And I think that Kevin Durant has restored the pecking order of this Team USA where, look, don't get it twisted. There's plenty of guys that could do it. Steph could do it. LeBron could be that guy, right? But I think for them, again, it's too strenuous. It exerts too much energy, big picture, where you anoint KD the go-to scorer because he can do it, again, without exerting himself too much. And it's easier for him to do. What does he start off? 8 of 8? Just ridiculous, right? And efficiently. And so I think I wasn't sure if we were going to see Durant. You never know with the calf and all that stuff. But I don't want to say saved the day, but I think he certainly changed the dynamics of this team. And I think that game would have looked a lot different without his presence. Now, the other big story out of this first official game out of Group C against Serbia was Jason Tatum didn't play because he has no aura. Now, I've been joking for a couple weeks now that Steve Kerr has blown the Celtics championship team up in one fell swoop in just one summer, right? Because you look at the Derek White, Jaylen Brown thing, right? And it was just like, oh, okay, everybody's scheming against this new championship team. And then I realized, oh, it's not Steve, it's Spo. Spo's over there on the bench, low-key sabotaging these Celtics. Nah, man. I think that it's very simple from a basketball perspective. Jason Tatum is not as efficient off the ball, right? And you saw all those catch and shoot opportunities for KD yesterday. How many times did KD dribble yesterday? It was very much like Olympic Melo in his prime, right? Less is more. And how efficiently can you get up good looks, right? And the issue with Tatum, if he doesn't have the ball in his hands and he's not the guy, he wants to catch it, massage it, sidestep, pump fake, and he doesn't play that efficiently off the ball, I think, if we're talking about basketball terms. Now, Kerr is ridiculous for how Warrior fans, you know this, right? He'll go, oh, I feel so dumb. Like right after a game, he'll be like, I didn't even realize, like, gosh, I'm so dumb. I didn't play him. It's like, yeah, you didn't play him, but now that this has become a controversy, it's already been announced. Well, it was just his turn. And we had to get KD going. And KD, the proof's in the pudding. What was he? 8 of 9, 23 points in 17 minutes and dominance. So it's like, yeah, Tatum didn't play. They won by 26 points. But the word is, okay, well, now it's going to be someone else's turn to sit out, right? And you keep hearing people say, well, how does Derek White play? His own teammate over there. How does Booker playing over? It really isn't that. The reality is it's Embiid. Cut Embiid out of the rotation, and there Tatum has his spot and his minutes. Play him at the 4-5. Unless you're going up against France, I know Valanciunas is out there. There are some matchups where you're going to need a true big man in there. But between Bam and AD, I don't know why you can't just play Tatum more as a big. Kerr likes to play small anyway. So I'm not sure how much I buy the excuse. I just think that he doesn't fit in off the ball as well as these other guys do. But I think it's Embiid who continues to be the issue where that's where you find the minutes. That's where you find the minutes. Just play him as a big. Tatum I think, can guard up in most of these matchups. As far as the starters go, the reality is, I know you've noticed it, teams are going to attack Steph and Joel. They're going to put them in pick and roll actions. And to be honest with you, Steph hit the floor way too many times for my taste yesterday, right? And he is having to, I'm going to use that word again, exert himself more probably than any other defender, any other player on the team. Now, Drew might exert himself just out of want, right? But Steph is having to work really hard defensively. He's getting attacked on switches. And again, I know that, I know my audience, and I know some of you are going to say, no, Steph should be the alpha go-to scorer guy. We know what his gravity does. Again, at what cost? At what cost? Steph, KD, and LeBron all at the same kind of point in their careers. I think they can look at each other and say, KD can do this easier right now in this setting. I don't want to spend my whole gas tank and then show up in training camp in October and September and have nothing left. I don't know about you. Listen, I want Steph to obviously get his shine and have his moments, but he needs to be a supporting actor in this movie, right? He doesn't need to be the lead. He doesn't need to be the star, not at this stage in his career. And he's already having to use a lot of energy on the defensive end. And again, Embiid is part of that pick and roll action. Now, Serbia, what did they shoot? 24% from three. That's not going to get it done to our 56%. But we've seen Germany. We've seen South Sudan, who we play Wednesday. These other teams, that's going to be the strategy. It's very simple. We know in modern basketball, I think I'm repeating myself from last video, right? But we know that the three ball, it can close the talent gap. And Serbia didn't shoot it well enough. Is it me, or does Jokic look a little out of shape? I know he's never, he doesn't look like Giannis ever, right? But he looks a little heavy and out of shape. And then Bogdanovic, I think, is supposed to be, his Robin, his sidekick, is just not what he used to be. I think the knees and the body has kind of betrayed him, where he was a really good player a few years ago. But I think they would have needed prime Bogdanovic to really had a chance in these games. And so they take care of business. I am a little bit anxious and nervous about how much teams are attacking Steph, right, and how physical it's being with him. A couple other things that I'm looking at is LeBron's been really sloppy with the ball. I know we're going to have those lack of chemistry plays where it's like, oh, I thought you were cutting and you weren't cutting type of things, but he's just been very inaccurate and loose with the ball. I think there are two reasons for that. One, that FIBA ball, I don't know, those of you that have used it, the white paneling on it is a different material. It has a different feel to the ball, and perhaps part of his accuracy issues are that paneling on the ball, as well as I think he's pushing the pace and playing faster than we've seen him play these last few years with the Lakers. Cleveland LeBron, Miami LeBron, we knew what type of pace he played at, but as he's, headed towards 40, he wants to play slower. He's playing a little faster than he wants to. I think that he's got to set the tone with these kind of lackadaisical early turnovers. And I have a breakdown of the game on the Patreon right now. And that's what I was pointing out is the NBA has a lot of unwritten rules. And one of them is, listen, it's an 82-game season on a Tuesday night in January. Let's ease into the game, right? There's kind of these agreements between the teams like, we're not going to pick up full court press to start the game. I'm not going to jump a passing lane at midcourt to start the game, right? And you can throw all those unwritten rules out that they play with in the NBA. You can throw them out in this competition, right? These teams, every second counts, and they know it, especially against Team USA. I think that's led to some turnovers, and they can't come out and feel their way out into the game. I'd like to see Team USA come out and punch somebody in the face, figuratively speaking, and give them no hope. I'll give you another example of an unwritten rule in the NBA. Did you see the dude take the charge on LeBron when he was going full speed at the nail in transition? Right? Who does that in the NBA outside of maybe like Dylan Brooks, right? Or maybe Pods might try and do it, right? But it's kind of like Steph and LeBron. Steph hit him with the bounce pass and LeBron charged. And they kind of looked at each other like, who? Like, what? Like, dude really just took that charge? So there's these little things that they've got to adjust to. But I guess the real big question, the elephant in the room, the drama surrounding Tatum is, okay, if he is going to play in this game against South Sudan, who sits out? We know it's not going to be Embiid for whatever reason, the politics of that. My guess is Anthony Edwards. And I think it's for various reasons. Maybe because one book probably wouldn't take it as well. But I think it's an age thing. I think what they're going to try to do is be like, all right, you're the young fella. We know you got next. but this is your turn to sit and watch. But who knows? I don't know. And then Kerr will be like, oh, I forgot it. I don't know. But I think that that's what we're all paying attention to is this rotation. And then how does Tatum respond, right? Does Tatum come out and have an awe-inspiring KD-like performance like we just saw yesterday? And it's like, oh, Kerr has unlocked Olympic Tatum. It was on purpose to motivate him. We'll see. My advice to Tatum would be like, less is more. The less dribbles you take, the less pump fakes and jab steps you take, the better. Just efficiently play basketball and offer to guard up. I think they can play him at the big spot, especially like Canada's small, Germany's not that big, South Sudan, a lot of long athletes, but they don't have a true traditional center. So I don't know if these excuses are legitimate, but I do know that Eric Spoelstra is alongside Steve Kerr and the Boston Celtics' biggest rivalry, right, as far as coaching goes. So, I don't know, something to consider. Underdog Fantasy, you see the code, Alchemy, you can get a 50% bonus on your first deposit up to $250. Now, we've got Olympic lines here. I want to caution you a little bit because, you know, some of these games, I think we're all still figuring out how some of this stuff's going to play out here. I'll give you my picks for these early Tuesday morning games. Australia, Canada is the one I'm checking for here. Josh Giddey, I like higher than 6.5 rebounds because Giddey is a rebound merchant. Like he will still rebounds and he is, a high motor guy. He is a good rebounder and Canada is small. They've got Olynyk playing the 5. So I like Giddey's higher rebounds. And then Jamal Murray has really struggled, and so his total is all the way down to 10.5. I like Jamal Murray to have a little bit of a breakout here against Australia and go higher than 10.5. But again, blend them with your own picks. Try the new streaks, and we'll continue to roll those out. I think as you get a better feel for these matchups in some of these games, you have to remember you got 10-minute quarters, and if it becomes non-competitive, your guys who you may be having a pick with may not play the amount of minutes you expect. But I think that this Canada-Australia game I have circled should be a competitive one and have some meaning towards what's going to really happen in these Olympic Games. As always, hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.